Hello folks, Fuzzfinger here, and thank you for joining me for the next part of our Final Fantasy XIII-2 walkthrough. So now we have our Moogle throw ability, and we're just going to go back to the Bresha ruins to collect some more fragments that are now available to us. Okay, so the game will start us off where we left, at the gate in the tunnels. So the first things first, we're going to want to get out of here. We're heading for the main excavation area, which is where we first started when we first came to the Bresha ruins. And on the way we're just going to pop on a chocobo to collect a treasure that we couldn't get before. This is probably the fastest way out. Just head all the way outside these tunnels. By the way, while we're here in the Bresha ruins, you want to collect some CP. We're going to want to leave with about 5,500 so that we can advance to our next level of Crystarium. But we'll probably do that anyway, just because we're going to end up farming for a monster while we're here. And that might take you a while, so don't do any farming just yet until you've got the monster, and then you'll know whether you need to collect any more CP after that. But I'll talk about that in a little while. So jump on this chocobo just here. You will need a Geishel Green. You can buy one off Chocolina if you don't have one already. Although if you've been collecting the treasure chests and that, you should have a few. And just on these stairs here, you want to use your chocobo to jump over the wall. Just like that. Then you can hop off the chocobo. And if you use your Moogle Hunt ability, you should be able to access a treasure. And that's one easy fragment to add to the collection. Now you don't need to go back on your chocobo now and waste another green. There is a chest just down here which you need to get before you leave. I miss it and can't get back up, but we'll be back there later if you do miss it like I did. And now just follow the path round back into the main excavation area, which is just down these stairs.
Has been deactivated. Monsters still...
And now we're going to collect a couple more fragments that we can only get at this point in the game since Atlas has been defeated. And we want to speak to Cordelia to start the next side quest. Very easy side quest. This is Cordelia just here.
This is hopeless. You want to know what's wrong? Well, I can't get this stupid drawer in my desk to open. You're thinking she's forgotten her password, aren't you? Well, you're wrong. The stupid lock on the stupid drawer is broken, and I really need a file I left in there. You can't get it open? Oh, but don't just go busting the desk apart. I need a non-violent solution.
Okay, so to complete this quest and collect our next fragment, we just need to head into the little building, the computer room, just further up here in the northwest, near where the red circle is. And that red circle, by the way, means that we can't access that tunnel just yet, although very shortly, now that we have the Moogle throw ability, we'll be able to. So just in this little room here, if you use the Moogle Hunt, you'll find a square treasure chest with the item that we need for the quest. And now we can take the personal notes back to Cordelia for our fragment reward.
Be on the lookout for monsters and suspicious people. I want to rest up for tomorrow's big game.
That's the wrong person. Cordelia will have the like the blue sign above her head saying that it's the quest giver.
Very important. Does that move? It is wonderful, and he never even complains.
Yeah, although he does get...
Yes, this is the file. That's amazing. How did you get it out? These are my personal notes. I have research ideas and theories and all sorts of things in here. Thank you. Now I can get back to work. Wait, this can't be right. This is my file, but I don't remember writing these notes. Augusta Tower? Duplicates? This isn't my field. And the date it was saved hasn't even happened yet. Don't tell me, these are my notes from the future? Is it possible that the drawer wasn't really broken at all, but somehow phased out of time? Was my desk the site of a paradox? This is huge! Thank you for your assistance.
And we now have our next fragment. Okay, and the reason why we got the Moogle throw in the last video was so we can access this treasure just up here. You can see with the blue symbol. So throw Mog towards that chest.
Come on, Mog.
And that will give us the key to the jail. So that southwestern tunnel that was blocked off is now accessible. So we'll head towards that now. Again in the northwest where we just looted the personal notes for the last quest giver. But on the way we'll also just speak to this soldier here with the speech bubble above his head. Once I've got my bearings anyway. And he'll give us another quest for another fragment.
This is so messed up. What's with the size? Oh, I'm having some trouble with ID overlaps. You know how our communicators serve as personal IDs? Well, it seems like there's another guy out there using the same identification signature as me. When I checked my activity log on the database, it was obvious. It has me existing in two places at the same time. Someone else's ID is overlapping with mine. I want to know how this could have happened. You'll look into it for me. Hey, it's like I have my own private detectives. Imagine if you actually found another me walking around the ruins. How weird would that be? Nah, it's probably just a tech screw-up. Somewhere out there, there's another communicator with the same ID signature.
Okay, just head up to these bars and examine them to open them. There's a few things to do in these tunnels. There's some treasure to collect. There's the quest for that guard we've just picked up. And also there's another monster that we'll want to farm called the Albino Lord. The Albino Lord is a dog. It's a white dog. So you may have come across the grey dogs around here already. That's not what we want. It's a white dog. It is rare, unfortunately. You might be going around a few times fighting a few enemies before you come across one. If we just nip over here and use the Moogle hunt, we can access the treasure for the guard. But if you do come across that white dog, make sure you don't run away from it. You do enter combat so that you have a chance of winning its crystal. But we'll pop back in a moment to do that and collect the rest of the treasures in this area. We'll just go and hand in the quest to this guard so we can collect the last fragment that we can for a while here. That will be 7 out of 8 fragments for this area once we've handed this in. The last one though we can't get until later on in the story.
You found a suspicious comm device? Let's see it. Here we go. This is the source of my headaches. It's emitting the exact same ID sig as my communicator. Wait a minute. These two devices look exactly the same. They even have the same scratches on the casing. What the hell? Is this what they mean when they talk about events that shouldn't be happening? There's a theory that the paradox effect ignores the boundaries of time. If that's true, then maybe a future me somehow wandered into the present and dropped my communicator, landing me in this mess. You know what? Let's not think about that. My problem is solved. I'll leave the mind-bending paradox theories to the experts in the Academy. Thank you for sorting this out.
So now we'll head back into the tunnel. And by the way, on the subject of the Albino Lord, this is the only tunnel that I've been able to find it in. So the other tunnels in this area that we was investigating earlier, I don't think it spawns in there, to be honest. It's just this one down here.
You know what they say?
And of course you get your usual other enemies that we're used to seeing by now in this zone.
Finished already? Over.
This is one of the most useful treasures we've come across so far. It's the butterfly bow for Sarah. Again, this was only accessible now that we have the Moogle throw, so that we can access these tunnels. And the butterfly bow is probably a lot more powerful than anything you've stumbled across so far. And we'll just head to the other side of this tunnel for the final treasure. That gate, by the way, we're not going to open it just yet. It uses a wild artifact. So, we've got a few of them already, but we won't use it just yet. Now that we've collected all the treasures in this area, it's time to start some farming. What I basically do is just run around this area until the enemy spawns. Sometimes I'll run away from the other enemies, sometimes I'll fight them. We are also aiming to get about 5,600 Gem points as well. So, it's been about 45 minutes I've been farming. I've come across the Albino Lord once. This is the second time. It didn't drop the crystal the last time. It is quite a tough enemy, so I do recommend using your Pulse Knight Sentinel. And you might want some Phoenix Downs at the hand, since they do have a tendency to one-shot Noel and Sarah. And obviously, if both characters die, then you'll have to restart the battle. I've only ever seen them spawn in groups of 2. I don't know if they spawn in 3s or with other enemies, but this is all I've seen. Once you've killed the first one, make sure you use the Feral Link ability of your monster, which is Head Twister, for your Sentinel. That actually increases the chance of getting the crystal. You just have to use it before the enemy dies. And there's the crystal. This is a powerful Ravager, this monster. So it can replace our little Zwerg thingy. Although you might need some patience while you're farming for it. Like I say, it took me about 45 minutes. And that included running away from some groups. Now, we don't have many materials at the moment because it takes grade 2 materials to level up. But if you've been looting the treasure chests, then you should have a few. I've got 5. But even 5, it might not sound a lot, but you'll see that it does shoot up in power. So it's now got 1600 health and more strength and magic, which beats both Noel and Sarah. And definitely the previous Ravager that we were using. And while I'm here, I'm just going to put some materials into Kate Sith, since he's still our medic. And he could do with a bit more of a boost. So like I said, you want to try and leave with about 5,600 CP, since in a minute we'll take a visit to the Crystarium and be able to level it up again. While I do remember though, we will need to pop back to the Bresha ruins to access the next gate, but I do just want to go to New Bodom to collect that fragment that we couldn't get earlier because we didn't have the Moogle hunt. Now that we do have it, I just want to pop back and collect that. And this is the actual final fragment for this area, the 4th fragment. So just head back this way and you'll encounter a small cutscene.
Hey guys, you're back. Not that you've been away that long. A few hours ago, right? That's when we saw you off, but look at you now. You've changed somehow. Like you've gone through a lot in a short time. So Noah was telling the truth about time travel and all that jazz. Don't tell the townsfolk about it, though. Who knows how they'll react. You gotta be tired. Go home, get some rest.
To be honest, you probably don't want to waste a green on a chocobo since we're only going a short distance. You can buy those greens, like I said earlier, but they do cost 300 gil each. So they are a bit pricey. Just head back down here. And just on the pedestal to the right, use the Moogle hunt. And we have the final fragment for New Bodom, for this time period anyway. So now that we've finished here, we can head back to the Bresha ruins once again.
Time and memory.
And I'm just a little shy of that 5,600 CP that we need. So on the way back to the next gate, I'm just going to do a little bit of farming to collect that. Now the actual amount that we need of CP for the next Crystarium unlock is 5,580, so I've got that by just 1 point. Still, that's enough. So it's time to invest some more points. And this is how I'm going to spend my points for each character. For Sarah, I'm going to put the Commando up to 26 points, which is another 6 spent. And her Ravager roll up to 23, which is another 4 points. And then the new Saboteur roll, which we collected earlier, I'm going to boost to level 11. So we're going to put 10 points into that. And now we've expanded the Crystarium, we're going to select the Medic role, which will certainly come in useful. And on to Noel. Similar sort of strategy here. We're going to bump his Commando level up to 23. and his Ravager 226. And of course we unlock the Synergist role on Noel, so we're going to put that up to 11. And again on Noel I'm going to select the Medic role. So now we've got a powerful Sentinel in our party, the Pulse Knight. We've got a powerful Ravager monster in the party, the Albino Lord. We've unlocked a few levels of the Crystarium. I think we're quite prepped to continue the story. So now we can head to the next gate, which is back in the Echoes of Past area. You can jump on a chocobo if you want to get there a little quicker and avoid the random encounters. That's the idea I had anyway, but then for some reason I decided to dismount the chocobo shortly after I got on. Accidentally, of course. And now we're just approaching the gate, so interact with it when you're ready to move on.
Yes, it worked.
Popo.
Sarah, are you okay?
Popo. It's nothing. I'm fine, really. Just tired, I guess.
Right. Somehow I kind of doubt it's nothing.
So now we've got quite a bit of optional stuff done. We're relatively overpowered for this part of the game. It's time to move on with the main storyline, I think. So Yasash Mashif 010 AF is the next destination. This has been Fuzzfinger. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.